I arrived in the prison sewage system. I pulled a button off my clothes and threw it hard into the deeper pipe nearby. I listened carefully to the echo of the button hitting the ground. Based on how long it took for the sound to return, I figured the bottom of the water tank was only a few meters down. Even if I slid down from here, I wouldn't get hurt. I looked up at the manhole opening 5.6 meters above. Climbing up from here was nearly impossible, but it was my only way out. Looking at the drain at the bottom, I pulled out a plastic bag I'd prepared earlier. I stuffed my clothes into the bag and tied it tight with rope. Then I used this plastic bag to completely block the drain. I opened the water valve and started filling the tank. I was going to use the buoyancy of the water to lift myself up. But after opening the valve, not a single drop came out. Someone must have shut off the main valve outside the next day during collective work time. I used levers to pry open the main pipe valve. Instantly, a huge rush of water came flooding in. I set the drainage time precisely to 3 minutes and 17 seconds. The water in the tank started rising rapidly. Before the water was completely full, the guard started walking this way. Cooper coughed once to warn me. The guard blew his whistle, ordering all prisoners to assemble and return to their cells. The countdown was about to hit 0. I immediately shut the valve when the water level was exactly half a meter from the manhole cover. After returning to my cell, I quickly went to the upstream drainage pipe opening. I stripped off my clothes and slipped into the water-filled tank. Grabbing one end of the rope, I used the buoyancy to swim toward the surface. I pushed open the manhole cover and found myself in the pharmacy below the infirmary. On the floor lay a paper crane that I had folded myself. A few days earlier, I had successfully used 2 common chemicals to corrode the infirmary drain pipe. To make sure I wouldn't end up in the wrong room, I had used a mop to pry open the corroded metal. I threw the folded paper crane down as a marker. I tightened the rope and pulled hard. The water level at the tank drain dropped rapidly. Then I tied the rope securely to the manhole cover. The escape tunnel was finally completely open. Once everything was ready, I crawled along the drainage ditch to the break room. The guys in the break room had just finished digging through the pipe too. But just then, Lincoln, who was keeping watch at the door, saw the guards coming. He quickly came to warn everyone, but I hadn't climbed up yet. We couldn't let the guards notice someone was missing. To buy us time, Lincoln deliberately got into a fight with the guard. Other guards heard the commotion and immediately rushed over to subdue Lincoln. After my cellmates pulled me out, I was ready to celebrate, but nobody else could bring themselves to be happy. Because Lincoln, the key figure in our escape, had been dragged off to solitary confinement. Tomorrow was the day he was scheduled for the electric chair. Just when the escape was about to succeed, this unexpected setback happened. I held my head in my hands, feeling dejected. I had burned my bridges to get into this prison just to save my brother. If I couldn't save him, then what was the point of everything I'd done?